Corruption allegations within Toronto's police force this Thursday night. Multiple officers accused of tipping off criminals.
This news is both shocking and completely unacceptable.
And the suspected plot to murder a corrections officer. Fresh federal rebates, the incentive aimed at jolting more Canadians into buying electric vehicles.
Your children will not rest until we are together again.
The Guthrie family's heartbreaking plea to their mother's kidnappers.
We want to talk to you and we are waiting for contact.
The new details police are now confirming. Greener games. Our Mike Armstrong is in Milan on the goal to make them more eco-friendly. Plus, backlash against a Canadian pop star. Why some people are mad she made this Olympic ad.
Hi, I'm a bit lost.
Global National with Donna Friesen.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin with a corruption scandal linked to organized crime within Canada's largest municipal police force. 8 current and former Toronto police officers are accused of accepting bribes, aiding drug traffickers, and leaking personal information to criminals. As part of a sweeping investigation, 19 other people are accused of a range of crimes, including bribery, conspiracy to murder, and drug trafficking.
First, to those charged today, you will answer for your actions in a court of law. And to our over 8,000 members, the allegations against these individuals do not represent the Toronto Police Service. They do not represent who you are.
Toronto's police chief calls it a painful and unsettling moment. Jeff Semple has our top story on how police came to suspect some of their own.
Police released these violent surveillance videos showing masked gunmen attacking properties across the Greater Toronto area last summer.
Let's take them down right now. Contain.
Officers arrested 19 suspects accused of drug trafficking, extortions, and attempted murder. When investigators dug deeper, they discovered the suspects allegedly had help from inside the Toronto Police Service.
This news is both shocking and completely unacceptable. Corruption has no place in policing.
Neighboring York Regional Police led the investigation and announced a long list of charges against 8 past and present members of the Toronto Police Service, including a father and son. The elder, John Madley Sr., seen in this video at his recent retirement party. The longtime constable given a rousing send-off. He and the others are now accused of supporting known criminals to carry out violent crimes. The charges include accepting bribes, drug trafficking, and providing confidential information. In one case, Constable Timothy Barnhart, who appeared in court, allegedly provided the home address of a Toronto Correctional Services officer who worked at an Ontario institution. Police say his home was then attacked 3 times by several masked gunmen.
Organized crime is corrosive. That it infected our service is unacceptable.
The charges, which have not been proven in court, could have far-reaching consequences.
The credibility of these officers right now is completely shot. So any previous cases that they were involved in, they very well might follow appeals. Certainly is going to affect any cases going forward.
Toronto's Police Services Board is now calling for an independent review by Ontario's Inspector General of Policing.
Any officer working with organized crime deserves to be thrown in jail. Public trust in policing is fundamental.
The accused officers are now suspended with pay, though the police chief said that could change. Toronto's mayor says this scandal will not affect next week's city budget and its $93 million increase for the Toronto Police. Donna?
Jeff Semple in Toronto. Thanks, Jeff. The first sexual assault trial of billionaire businessman Frank Stronach has been delayed again, and the 93-year-old's lawyer intends to apply for a stay of proceedings. Stronach's lawyer says they've received last-minute disclosures raising concerns witnesses set to testify against Stronach may have been improperly coached by prosecutors. Today, the judge allowed her to question an officer who observed the witness preparations to prepare for that application. Stronach faces 18 sexual offense charges involving allegations by 13 complainants dating back decades. The cases have been split into 2 separate trials. He has pleaded not guilty. Canadians looking to buy an electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid will again be offered a federal rebate. The federal government is bringing them back as part of a revamped automotive strategy. It's getting rid of the Trudeau-era mandate that all new cars sold by 2035 be electric, but it's bringing in stricter emission standards for gas-powered vehicles. Mackenzie Gray takes us through the changes, which EVs will not be eligible, and what it means for Canadian consumers.
And I can almost feel the massage in my lower back.
While the RCMP won't let the Prime Minister drive, Mark Carney is promising fresh rebates to get more electric vehicles on the road.
Canadians who purchase or lease a battery electric or fuel cell electric vehicle will receive up to $5,000.
To be eligible, the EV needs to be under $50,000 or built in Canada. If it's a plug-in hybrid, you'll get $2,500 off. Federal officials say that will apply to 11 makes and 20 models, including the Chrysler Pacifica and Dodge Charger, both built in Ontario.
If the Prime Minister wants to support incentives, by all means, whatever it takes to protect our auto workers.
This is a great day.
Carney also dumping the controversial electric vehicle mandate that was set to force all cars sold in Canada by 2035 to be EVs. The mandate replaced with targets, 75% by 2035, 90% by 2045, alongside yet to be announced environmental protections.
We'll drive down emissions by more than doubling the stringency of Canada's vehicle GHG standards.
The rebates will also apply to American cars, despite Donald Trump's stated goal of moving Canadian auto jobs to the U.S.
Canadian taxpayers should not be forced to subsidize American-built vehicles that should have been produced in Canada.
Chinese EVs that will soon be allowed into Canada aren't eligible.
It's a choice by the Canadians.
But Canada's trade agreements with China were again used as a reason why the Trump administration won't remove tariffs.
We couldn't let our northern border be used as a way for Chinese EVs to come into the U.S.
Despite Carney's diversification push, he still wants a tariff-free deal with the U.S.
The previous arrangements were more effective, and we're going to work hard to move back towards that.
$3 billion in cash, tax deductions, and $1.5 billion to expand the EV charging network also promised to avoid more auto layoffs.
I believe that the government would be propositional with some of these automakers to encourage them to continue to build in Canada.
Dropping the EV mandate, another signature Justin Trudeau policy that Mark Carney's walked away from, Donna, like the consumer carbon tax and the oil and gas emissions cap. Despite government officials telling Global News Ottawa has no modeling on how Thursday's announcement will impact Canadian emissions.
Okay, Mackenzie Gray in Ottawa, thank you.
To be clear, these realities mean that we must reduce our dependence on the U.S. in order to protect our sovereignty and our economy.
Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper, in a speech last night, agreed with the current Prime Minister that now is the time to pivot away from reliance on the United States, given the erratic nature of the Trump administration. But there is one strategy they are not aligned on. As Taria Isri reports, Harper believes reciprocal tariffs are needed in the face of Trump's trade war.
I've largely stayed silent on what has transpired.
Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper is piercing that silence with a warning.
One-way tariffs introduced by the U.S. must be reciprocated.
Prime Minister Mark Carney dropped most counter tariffs against the United States last summer, but 25% tariffs remain on steel and aluminum. In the upcoming trade talks with the U.S., Harper says Canada should be prepared to hit back with more levies.
Now, will that, friends, be costly in the short run? Yes. But what we can never concede are permanent one-way economic flows from Canada to the United States.
His suggestion is out of step with Western premiers who say retaliatory tariffs punish Canadian consumers. The federal finance minister was asked if it's time for a strategy shift.
Would you reconsider counter tariffs?
Well, I think Canada has been playing its cards very well in the context. I mean, if you look, 85% of our trade is tariff-free.
Conservative MP Jamil Javani, a longtime friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, is in Washington this week, saying the trip is a bid to help trade talks. On social media, he posted he had productive meetings with the White House and State Department, and that the president asked me to pass along a message. Tell the Canadians I love them. Giovanni declined Global News' request for an interview. He told a Washington-based media outlet that he sat down with Vance and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio Wednesday and was set to meet with unnamed Republican senators Thursday.
What took him so long? A year ago he got elected.
I'm not really sure what role he's serving there, but, sometimes less is more.
At several events this week, Harper underscored the need for political parties to work together to confront a United States that he described in his speech as hostile. Donna?
All right, Turia Isri in Montreal, thank you. In Nova Scotia, 3 young people are facing sexual assault charges related to alleged hazing incidents involving a hockey team that has not been named. RCMP say a youth came forward on January 30th reporting an assault had taken place during a private hockey team gathering last fall. All 3 suspects were arrested Tuesday. They've been charged with sexual assault with a weapon. One of them is also facing an assault with choking charge. Police believe there may be other victims. The Winter Olympics in Italy are off to a bit of a difficult start for some Canadian athletes. A star snowboarder has been injured in a training run, and a game involving our women's hockey team was postponed because of an outbreak of a virus. Canada's 207 athletes are among nearly 3,000 competitors. Mike Armstrong is in Milan to cover the games and is here to put it all in perspective.
Athletes hoping to mingle at these games may be disappointed. With different sports in different parts of the country, the opportunities won't be there. In fact, instead of one main athletes' village, there are 6. Before these Winter Olympics, the 2010 Vancouver Games were kind of an outlier. There was about 120 kilometers between events in Whistler and Vancouver. That felt spread out. In these games, the drive between the 2 main competition sites, Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo, is about 400 kilometers. There are 4 other sites in between and another even further out. The goal for organizers was to focus on existing facilities to limit the environmental impact of these games and keep costs down. Well, the budget ballooned from a projected $1.8 billion to about $2.3 billion.
Looking back with honesty, this journey has proven to be even more arduous than I initially imagined.
So what went wrong? Well, they've built a new hockey arena in Milan and a new sliding center in Cortina. Completion of both just made it in time for the games. Whereas a new cable car in Cortina likely won't be ready. It was supposed to carry visitors between the village and the slopes, and not having it may be a traffic nightmare. Now, the Canadian Olympic Committee held its opening press conference Thursday. It highlighted how important winter sports in particular are to Canadians and is admitting passions over the rivalry with our American neighbors are running high.
We certainly haven't instructed our athletes to behave in a certain way. But our women's hockey team, for example, they know what's at stake when they compete against the U.S.
Well, that very competitive women's team was supposed to take to the ice for its first game tonight. That's not happening. Canada's game against Finland was postponed to February 12th. More than a dozen players on Team Finland have come down with norovirus, a highly contagious stomach virus.
Hey everyone.
There was an update on Canadian snowboarder Mark McMorris. The 3-time bronze medalist fell in training Wednesday. He posted a video to social media saying a head injury forced him to pull out of the big air event Thursday.
Fortunately, things are looking up for slopestyle, so just trying to stay positive and shift my focus to that event.
Now, the opening ceremonies are set for tomorrow night, but they too will be spread out. In another Olympic first, there will be 2 Olympic cauldrons at these games, one in Cortina and one here in Milan. They will be lit simultaneously Friday night. Donna?
All right, Mike Armstrong in Milan, Italy. Thank you. A direct and gut-wrenching appeal. Coming up, the message Nancy Guthrie's children are sending to her possible kidnappers.
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy.
Nancy Guthrie's children, including Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, put out that emotional message to her possible kidnappers last night. Nancy went missing in Arizona this past weekend. There's been no sign of her since, and investigators are still struggling to piece together what happened. Jackson Proskow reports on what police have found.
With no suspects and few leads in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, her children, including NBC journalist Savannah Guthrie, issued an emotional plea.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile.
In a video posted to Instagram, the family asked for verifiable proof of life and said they're ready to talk to whomever took their mother from her Tucson home Sunday.
We live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there.
Police say they're investigating a ransom note sent to media outlets that mentions specific details about Guthrie's home. The note set a deadline of 5 p.m. Thursday and a second deadline of Monday. In this high-profile case, police have also arrested an alleged imposter who sent a fake ransom note.
Any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family.
Police won't say whether there were signs of forced entry at the home. A video doorbell was disconnected at 1:47 a.m. Sunday, around the same time Guthrie's smartwatch disconnected from her pacemaker. DNA testing confirms blood seen on Guthrie's porch belongs to her.
This is an 84-year-old grandma that needs vital medication for her well-being. You still have the time to do the right thing.
What's so unusual in this case is the lack of confirmed contact with the kidnappers. As Guthrie's family waits for word, the FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to her return. Jackson Proskow, Global News, Washington.
Ahead, why the British Prime Minister is apologizing to victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
I intend to disclose.
The fallout from the Epstein files has reached the highest levels in the UK. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer apologized today for appointing Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the United States. Emails reveal Mandelson maintained a close relationship with Epstein after the sex offender was convicted. And there are serious questions about why nothing about that apparently sordid relationship has come to light until now. Vincent McAviney reports.
We did it!
He's only been in office 18 months, returning the Labour Party to power in a landslide after 14 years. But British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's political future is now in severe jeopardy. So on Thursday, an apology.
I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him.
Starmer's talking about Peter Mandelson, who was appointed as US ambassador in 2025, but pulled from the role after less than a year. Now the big question is whether the government vetting process was flawed or whether Starmer made an error in judgment with that appointment.
The information now available makes clear that the answers he gave were lies.
There were audible gasps Wednesday in the House of Commons when Starmer admitted vetting had revealed Mandelson remained in contact with Jeffrey Epstein after the paedophile's conviction in 2008. Starmer maintains Mandelson lied about the extent of the relationship, but his attempts to release supporting documents have been put on hold by police, who are conducting a criminal investigation into allegations Mandelson shared sensitive government information with Epstein. Senior politicians are worried this information wasn't just for Epstein.
Is the Prime Minister concerned that Peter Mandelson may have been leaking state secrets, not just to a paedophile American financier, but also a Russian agent?
Starmer says the government will cooperate with the criminal investigation wherever it goes. While most thought it would be US President Donald Trump in trouble after the latest Epstein files were released, the impact across the Atlantic, both for the royal family and the government, has been far more profound. Vincent McAviney, Global News, London.
Oh, hi.
got lost.
Lost and unpatriotic. That's just some of the criticism Canadian Tate McCrae is facing. We'll explain next. Surrounding the Olympic Games are billions of dollars in TV rights, sponsorships and marketing, and a Canadian pop star appears to be capitalizing on that. Tate McCrae grew up in Calgary, but has chosen to appear in an American ad promoting Team USA. Heather Urix-West reports on the reaction.
I'm trying to get to Milan for an amazing opening ceremony to meet Team USA.
A Canadian pop star skiing up on controversy with a new Olympic ad supporting a rival team.
What do you think about her supporting Team USA over Team Canada?
Well, that's not a good thing.
I honestly don't really like people from my team in sports going off and joining the rival team.
22-year-old Tate McCrae was born and raised in Calgary, home of the 1988 Olympics. In the shadow of the now decommissioned ski jumps from those games, locals are not impressed.
I feel like disrespecting us like that, supporting the U.S. with everything that's going on in the world, it's not right.
She's a international pop star that's looking to get more profile. So from a business standpoint, it makes sense.
But marketing expert Chris Hans says at a time of tense relations between Canada and the U.S., McCrae's brand among her Canadian fans stands to take a hit. In response to the backlash, McCrae responded on Instagram with a childhood pic and a caption saying, "Y'all know I'm Canada down."
I think we have a short attention span, so probably most people will forget about it.
As fans turn their focus to the actual games.
We're winning hockey. Men's, women's, we're winning all the skiing events. Go Canada!
A country ready to back the red and white team, even if a homegrown pop star isn't along for the ride. Heather Urix-West, Global News, Calgary.
And that is Global National for this Thursday. I'm Donna Friesen. Tonight's Here Canada is Poplar Grove, Nova Scotia. Thanks for watching. Colleen Christie will be at the anchor desk tomorrow, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.